Okay, John the Van Guy. Today's issues with the Talbot Express electrical problem. What was happening was, and it really threw me, I found I could turn the ignition on and the lights on the dash didn't come on. Now, strange thing was, I could turn the engine over, but it didn't spark. The radio was dead. But I did find these two fuses at the end of the fuse box. This fuse box in the glove compartment. These two fuses. These terminals tend to be live. So on these all the time with the ignition off. Okay. So I played round. I went on the internet and various suggestions. One was Earth, good suggestions about Earth. I did connect a jump lead actually from the from the battery Earth to the body and to the engine, just to see if it made any difference. One idea is to go from the live with the voltmeter, from the live of the battery, touch the engine, touch the body. If you don't get 12 volts coming through, then you've got an earth issue, earth strap or something wrong. Anyway, it wasn't that. So what do you do now? Well, the odd thing was that I could turn the thing over, turn the engine over, and the lights didn't come on, which suggested it was in the switch mechanism, the ignition mechanism itself. I took off all this bit. It's just a few bolts, a few screws rather, there and there, and it's just come apart. I've put that on to actually hold it together, and took it apart. You can actually apply. You can see if voltage is actually coming to the ignition switch. There's about 4 or 5 wires actually come out of the ignition switch, and you can see voltage is there or not. There was some voltage going there, strangely, to one of the wires at least. You can actually jump from the connecting up directly to the battery if you haven't got voltage going through the switch. But it didn't seem to be the source of the problem. Anyway, long story short, I found that the problem was with the ignition switch itself. What was happening was the switch itself, the contacts in it are a bit dodgy, probably through arcing over time and a bit worn. So I simply put one of the keys in. Find them now. Oh, there are the keys. Put one of the keys in and sprayed in some electrical cleaner, which I can't see. We are electrical cleaner. Sprayed it in, jiggled about a bit, did it a few times, and lo and behold, turning it on. There you go. You see I had to jig around a bit for those lights to come on, and it didn't come on initially. So it's obviously an issue with the ignition switch. You know, with changing ignition switch is a real pain. So I'll see how I get on. I've got an MOT tomorrow. So one thing I did find was tracing wires through. If you want to pull wires through, there's actually at the bottom here, on the driver's side, there's a, oh, I can't get to it without really getting down, but there's a round block which takes spade connectors for the earths. I cleaned all those up while I was at it, if there was an earth issue, and then put it all back again. Two tools to have for doing all this work. One of them is this is great, the Sealy auto service line automatic test device. See the little lights on there? Two, it has a very long lead, which means you can travel different parts of the van using it. At the end of the lead, there are a positive and negative crocodile clips to connect to your battery. So the thing is live. It's also got a handy earth connection, which means you can take stuff out of the vehicle and use the earth and then press the button to give you a live at that point. But I found it in this particular case, it was very useful to actually just go along and find out what was positive and what was negative in relation to the current going through. So in the Talbot, obviously these are, can I get this out? If you want to see, I'll show you. What happens is if you touch a live, these first two on the Talbot are always live, so you get that effect. Now you see the green, that's earth, those two are live, so you get the red flash. So there you go. That was very handy. The other tool I mentioned, now this is what you wouldn't think of. This is, I'll take that out, one of those long, thin tubes with a crocodile or type of, what would you call it, clip at the end, which you can operate from the other end. To actually, it's good for finding screws and things and getting things out of difficult places, but it's also very good for dragging wires and things if you need to behind equipment, so through equipment. I'm using this live here from the cigar lighter or cigarette lighter, and I was able to thread this all the way through and pick up a wire from down here using this tool, and then actually pull it back again behind the dash. So it's a very handy tool to have. Right, that's how you operate it. Easy to operate and extremely useful for those things you drop and for threading wires behind the dash. So there's another little tip for today. Have a nice day. I'll be off now. Bye then.